Yes, my friends, things are heating up behind the scenes for the Detroit Lions, and head coach Dan Campbell is finalizing the final details for their pivotal matchup against the Commanders. Man, this game is going to be a blast. I believe we'll win, and if you agree with me, hit that like button hard. If possible, write something like this: Go Lions! I believe we'll win. Okay, let's get to it. The Detroit Lions are gearing up for a big divisional round matchup against the Washington Commanders this Saturday, and there are some important developments coming out of practice that you need to know about. Running back David Montgomery had some powerful words this week, praising the offensive line as the true MVPs behind the team's explosive offense this season. He said, "We have the best offensive line in the world. Without them, there's no 1,000 yards from scrimmage for me, no nearly 2,000 yards from scrimmage for Jahmyr Gibbs, no 1,000 yards from Amon-Ra St. Brown." Montgomery emphasized how critical the guys up front have been in making the Lions' offense the highest scoring unit in the league this season. However, some concerns surfaced in Wednesday's injury report. Left tackle Taylor Decker missed practice due to personal reasons. While this initially raised eyebrows, multiple reports have clarified that there's nothing to worry about, and Decker is still expected to take the field on Saturday. In fact, his absence may have something to do with some happy family news, as the Decker family is expecting a new addition soon. On a more concerning note, veteran right guard Kevin Zeitler missed his second consecutive practice due to a hamstring injury. Zeitler, who was injured during the Week 18 win over the Vikings, was seen working out with the coaches, a positive sign, but his status remains up in the air heading into the weekend. If he can't make it, rookie Christian Mahogany, a 6th-round pick, would likely start. Mahogany came in earlier this season and showed promise, but entering a playoff game brings a whole new level of pressure. Defensive tackle Pat O'Connor also missed practice with a calf injury and is not expected to play Saturday. Additionally, defensive back Darius Rakestraw was sidelined due to an illness, though no major concerns were reported about his availability for game day. The good news? Montgomery, who has been recovering from a knee injury, was a full participant and should be fully ready for Saturday. Having Montgomery and Gibbs at full strength is a huge boost as the Lions prepare to face a tough Commanders defense. Lions fans, this game is huge. With the offensive line banged up, how confident are you in Christian Mahogany stepping up if Zeitler can't go? And do you think this O-line can still dominate against Washington's defensive front? It seems almost inevitable now that the Detroit Lions coaching staff will look very different next season. Success comes at a cost, and while the Lions continue to grow as a contender, other teams around the league are eyeing our top coordinators for head coaching jobs. This time around, the spotlight is on defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn, who could be on the move soon. Glenn, who has been a key part of Detroit's defensive turnaround, has reportedly identified the New York Jets as his preferred destination if offered the head coaching position. According to Brian Costello of the New York Post, Glenn has expressed interest in returning to the team where his NFL career began. During his playing days, he spent 8 seasons with the Jets, earning 2 Pro Bowl nods and establishing himself as a standout defensive back. Now, the Jets may not seem like the most appealing landing spot on paper. They've had a disappointing season, and the quarterback situation remains a big question mark. But there's a reason Glenn is intrigued. The Jets still have a strong defensive core that was dominant just a few years ago. Players like Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams provide the kind of foundation that a defensive-minded coach like Glenn would be drawn to. For Lions fans, losing Glenn would undoubtedly be a tough blow. He was instrumental in transforming Detroit's defense from one of the weakest units in the league into a physical and competitive force. His leadership has been a key part of Dan Campbell's culture shift, helping to transform the Lions into a true playoff contender. However, Glenn's potential departure also speaks volumes about the success and respect his coaching staff has built in Detroit. It's the natural progression when a team performs well. Other franchises want to replicate that success, and they start by targeting the architects behind the turnaround. So, Lions fans, what do you think? Would losing Aaron Glenn be a major setback for Detroit? Or do you trust Dan Campbell and the front office to find the next great defensive mind to keep our momentum going? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's talk about a big opportunity for the Detroit Lions as they prepare for Saturday's big divisional round matchup against the Washington Commanders. The Lions have been dominant this season, but their secondary has been hit hard by injuries. Ennis Rakestraw Jr., Carlton Davis III, Emmanuel Mosley, and Khalil Dorsey are all on injured reserve or questionable. That's a serious concern when facing a Commanders offense that ranks in the top 6 in scoring and total yards per game. But guess what? There's a perfect solution available right now. Veteran cornerback Trey Flowers just hit the free agent market, and he could be just what the Lions need to solidify their secondary heading into this crucial playoff race. Flowers, a proven defender, just became eligible to sign with any team after being released from the Jaguars practice squad. He's no stranger to high-pressure moments, with 10 career playoff appearances, including a Super Bowl run with the Bengals in 2021. That's the kind of experience you want when you're chasing a Lombardi trophy. Now, I get it, his 2024 numbers don't jump off the page. He played in 5 games this season between the Colts and Jaguars, totaling 3 solo tackles and 1 tackle for loss in limited snaps. But let's not ignore the bigger picture here. Flowers has 224 career solo tackles, 22 passes defended, and 4 interceptions in 95 games. More importantly, he brings veteran leadership and playoff experience, something this banged-up secondary could really benefit from. So why not make the move? Flowers isn't coming in to be a CB1. He's a smart depth addition who can step up when it matters most, and with how banged up the Lions secondary is, a proven veteran presence like him could make all the difference. The Lions are currently 9.5-point favorites against the Commanders, but you can't underestimate any opponent this deep in the playoffs. If the front office wants to make sure this team stays strong throughout a long postseason run, bringing in Trey Flowers seems like a no-brainer. But now I want to hear from you, Lions fans. Should Detroit sign Trey Flowers to bolster the secondary for a playoff run? Okay, let's talk about Jared Goff. If you've been following the Lions for any length of time, you've definitely seen your fair share of battles against the Packers during the Aaron Rodgers era. Remember how the commentators, especially Joe Buck, couldn't stop talking about Rodgers' ability to manipulate defenses with his cadence? Love him or hate him, Rodgers was a master at pulling defensive linemen offside and turning them into easy first downs. And back in the day, the Lions used to fall for it, constantly. But now, things have changed. Jared Goff has taken that same crafty move and made it part of his game, and let me tell you, it's working brilliantly. Goff has drawn defenders offside 4 times this season with his cadence alone. That may not seem like a lot, but let me put it in perspective, only Jalen Hurts has done it more, with 5. And you know teams are terrified of the Eagles' signature butt rush. After those 2, the list goes down fast. Only a handful of quarterbacks have done it once this season. So what does that really say about Goff? It shows how much he's grown. He's reading defenses better than ever. The game is clearly slowing down for him as he hits his 30s. That's when quarterbacks are supposed to reach their peak football IQ, and Goff is proving he's there. The even crazier part? All 4 of those stops have been recent. In Week 18, the Vikings' Harrison Smith bit Goff's hard count on a critical 4th down. Week 16 against the Bears? Same thing. Thanksgiving? Yep, again against Chicago. And don't forget the Packers in November. Goff's timing, control, and poise under pressure have become weapons in their own right. Now, with the playoffs approaching and a huge matchup against the Washington Commanders looming, you have to wonder, will Goff's mastery of cadence play a role? Washington loves going for 4th downs, too, but what about rookie Jayden Daniels? No holds barred yet. So, Lions fans, what do you think? Is Goff's growth as a leader and field general enough to give us an edge this postseason? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And before you go, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another Lions update. We've got all the latest news and exclusive insights coming your way. Go Lions!